My name's Peter Buckingham. I'm the Managing Director of a demographic mapping and analysis company based in Melbourne. Okay, site selection is the process of deciding where you're going to set up a retail location. Look, site selection is so important because it really sets up what is going to work in a business and what is not. Site selection's all about understanding the drivers of the business and then looking for suitable sites at suitable rents that are going to meet those criteria. I look at site selection in terms of impulse versus destination. An impulse site is normally the very high, quick decisions, people walking past, buying low-priced product. Impulse sites are the ones that you pay the most for your rent, and they need to be suitable for what you're going to sell. On the other hand, a destination product is normally a lot lower rent. It can be at the back, it can be where people actually make a conscious decision to come to it. So impulse sites tend to be convenience stores, maybe moving down towards fast food outlets, through to, by the time you get to real destination businesses, they are things like government departments and high-class restaurants, things that you actually make a conscious decision of where you're going to go before you go and purchase. So once you think in terms of destination versus impulse, you start thinking of whether you're going to pay the higher rent or pay the lower rent. The role of site selection is really a combination between the franchisor and the franchisee. We like to think that the franchisor has some logic and understanding as to what will make a good site for what they're going to sell. That can come by having some analysis done, doing it themselves if they wish, or just having a process that helps them come up with some sort of check chart that means they know what they're looking for and are proactive in what they're seeking and not just reactive. How that reflects through to a franchisee is the franchisee has to be confident that what is being said and what is being offered meets the criteria. So as much as a franchisee might think it's up to the franchisor to find the site, the franchisee has to agree with it. So quite often a franchisor will find some sites and wish to persuade the franchisee that that is good for whatever reason. Normally that is done properly and done with a logic, and it's a hard argument not to follow. What I find is dangerous is if a franchisor chooses to not want to get that involved and just say to a franchisee, look, you go and find a site and whatever you think will be okay. I believe that actually leaves it very open for a legal case if there is a failure, and we have seen a few of these legal cases come through over the last 10 years. So it really is the franchisor's responsibility to have a structure and some logic on where the site should be, and it's probably the franchisee's responsibility to do their due diligence. Franchisors will not or should not provide sales estimates. It's really not up to them, and they don't wish to be legally held to them. They are able to tell you what other sites sell, and you're then able to make your own assessment if you're a franchisee looking at opening a new site. Everyone will say it's up to you to do your own due diligence, and there's no doubt that's the case. At the end of the day, a good franchise system will have a logic, may have their own site selection tools that they use internally. They may not be able to tell you exactly what their results are, but at least if you feel you know that they are doing a process, you should have some confidence in the site that they and you agree to go into. Retail franchises come in many different types. I'll start off firstly with the ones that are what we will call on a road and are relying on quite a lot of traffic. So that could be a petrol station, a convenience store, could be a fast food restaurant. So the first thing they've got to have is a suitable block of land. So the land needs to be of the right size that they can have the building they want. And I'm a very big one that the traffic going past must be correct. It's no good having a site on the top of Mount Kosciuszko. Everyone might be able to see you, but no vehicles come there. We believe that traffic data is probably the first thing in those type of businesses. And the second thing is how many people live nearby and what type of person is living nearby. The third part is access and probably parking. Those come at a price. Also visibility comes in very much there. They're the things you look at when you're standing on a site and what is around that's going to help the customer make his life easy. The other thing we look at is generators. What's around you that's going to bring business in? For example, if you're in a tyre business, often it's very good to be with other car type businesses. So you'll often see them grouping together, the pedders, the tyre businesses, the muffler companies. They all tend to come together a bit because they find they actually work well. Similarly, homemaker centres. Why do they exist? Well, they exist because the idea of the bedding companies and others is they know they work better if they're together. So a homemaker centre will basically have 3 or 4 bedding companies, a couple of electrical companies, probably starting with a Harvey Norman's, maybe a big hardware company, a Bunnings or a Masters, and they know they work together. So the idea of actually having other businesses generating business for you really becomes quite a positive. They do like to go together. It's efficient for the parking and actually bringing people in. So generators are a big part of the business that I think we need to look at. We do a census in Australia every 5 years. The next one is due in 2016. A census costs $400 million, and it really is the one stake in the ground that we can look at to see where people are. The ABS website, Australian Bureau of Statistics, abs.gov.au, gives us tremendous access to the census. We have, under census, quick stats, and in quick stats you can look up every postcode, suburb in Australia, how many people, average income, ethnicity, many things you may want to look at. The ABS also provide data on how many businesses are in any area. So companies like us are able to work with that and provide information for the B2B part. So it's really up to you to look at that part of the equation. In conclusion, site selection is a very important long-term part for your business. If you're going to be profitable and succeed, you really need to make sure you're in a great site or at least a very good location as best you possibly can be. By taking into account many of the things I've discussed today, it should help you to make better decisions. Our motto has always been using data to make better business decisions, and we really think that is what all franchise businesses should be doing. Thank you.